So we've discovered in this Maamar a new understanding of Nod D'Shas HaMelech, that the king's sleep was disturbed. The simple explanation is, of course, talking about Achashverosh, that he woke up in the middle of the night, he couldn't sleep. The deeper explanation is that HaMelech refers to Hashem. Nod D'Shas HaMelech means the king's sleep was disturbed, which even on that level, the simple explanation is that Hashem is asleep, as it were, in exile. When we're in Golus, Hashem is disconnected like a sleeping person, but Hashem woke up in the midst of exile and a miracle happened, which is an amazing thing, that when a time when Hashem should be asleep in Golus, he became revealed. But deeper than that, we've learned, by understanding what sleeping is and what waking up is, we've learned that Nod D'Shas HaMelech means that while in the state of sleep, where you're on a higher level, your neshama has gone back to its source, your faculties are not being expressed externally, but they're going back to their higher state in their source, in the Etzem HaNefesh. So your faculties are actually in a heightened state, even though it's not revealed. Nod D'Shas HaMelech means that Hashem revealed that level to us down here. Meaning, not that he woke up, he stayed asleep and revealed to us what the sleeping state is really about. Because the sleeping state is where the neshama is on a higher level. So too, in the divine version of it, while during the Beis HaMikdash the light is revealed in the world, when the Beis HaMikdash is destroyed, that light goes up to its source. The light is in a higher place. We just don't see it. So Hashem's connection to us is even deeper, just we don't see it in Golus. Nod D'Shas HaMelech, the king's sleep was destroyed, means that that level was revealed down here. We actually experienced it. Similar to what the Rebbe said about when the Beis HaMikdash was being destroyed, and the Romans went in and ripped open the parochas and showed in the Kodesh Kodashim, they saw the kruvim in an embrace, which the kruvim in an embraced position represents Hashem's love for the Jewish people. In the very moment of Churban, what is happening on a deeper level in the Kodesh Kodashim, there's an embrace going on, that Hashem is embracing us. Because the entire Golus is for the sake of the Geula. It's a pregnancy that's for the sake of a birth. And even though that's not revealed, not seen down here, at that moment it was revealed to the Jewish people. At the moment of destruction, it was revealed to them what was really going on inside. So too in the times of Purim, what was revealed momentarily was what's going on in the deepest levels, where Hashem and the Jewish people are one. It became open and revealed in the midst of Golus, and that was the miracle of Purim. And this, we said, came about as a result of the Mesiras Nefesh of the Jewish people, because they had Mesiras Nefesh to stay true to Yiddishkeit even under threat of annihilation. And what is Mesiras Nefesh? Mesiras Nefesh is the Etzem HaNeshama, the deepest level of the Neshama, becomes revealed in the way you act, in the way you behave. That the Etzem HaNeshama is the part of us that cannot be separated from Hashem. Mesiras Nefesh is when that inseparable nature that we have with Hashem becomes revealed in the way we interact, the way we live. And that's what happened. In the Koiches HaGeluim, in the revealed levels of the soul, was revealed that Etzem HaNefesh. When we did that ourselves, so then Hashem did the same and showed what's in the Etzem, and that is the deep connection. That's Nod D'Shas HaMelech. So, that's where we got up to. We'll continue on the bottom of page Ayin Reish, the Yuvanzeh, middle of Vav. The Yuvanzeh b'pratis Yosef Yidua will understand this in more detail based on what is known, Shashleimus, the Mesiras Nefesh. The real Mesiras Nefesh happens when Mesiras Nefesh shemetzad Yechida nimsheches hapoyeles gam b'kochos hapratim. When the Mesiras Nefesh is not just something that is deep in your soul, but it actually becomes expressed in your specific faculties. Meaning, b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha, in your heart and in your soul you love Hashem. Shegam avoda protis the kol koyach v'koyach tiya ba'ofen de Mesiras Nefesh. That the specific avoda of each one of your faculties should also be in a way of Mesiras Nefesh. L'mayla midid, meaning above its limitations. So, in other words, Mesiras Nefesh can happen in two ways. It can happen in a way that it overwhelms your kochas hapratim, your specific faculties, where it negates your intellect, it negates your emotion, it negates your normal operating. It overrides the system. Or a deeper Mesiras Nefesh is where it actually enters into the system. You express Mesiras Nefesh in every level. as he explains, the Mesiras Nefesh at that time was experienced by every single Jew. Menar v'adzoken taf v'noshim, young and old, children, women, the entire community. There was nobody, no exception. And the reason why this is emphasized, that all of them, everyone, men, women, children, young, old, everyone, had Mesiras Nefesh. Meaning, each individual, as they were an individual, a man and a woman, an adult and a child, they remained in their state. But as they were in their state, they were completely enveloped, taken over by this Mesiras Nefesh. In other words, they didn't all just become zombies. Kids were still kids. They had Mesiras Nefesh as a child would have Mesiras Nefesh. They felt it on their level. It wasn't that they were taken by the moment and kids were behaving like adults. No, they were behaving like kids. And as a kid, they had Mesiras Nefesh. Each person in their own personality, in their own way, had Mesiras Nefesh. That's Mesiras Nefesh that has permeated every level. This is also indicated by the fact that the previous Rebbe mentions in his Maamar that the Mesiras Nefesh lasted an entire year. From the decree until the rescinding of the decree was approximately a year. So why is it emphasized that it was throughout the entire year? Because a year has different times, different seasons in it. And the fact that they had Mesiras Nefesh throughout all the seasons, so skip the brackets for a moment, go to the top of the next page. Every tkufa, every time in the year has its own avodah. There's different Yom Tovim, different months of the year. There's the Simcha that you have in Adar. There's the Mamaitim b'Simcha, you reduce the Simcha in the month of Av. There's all different types of avodas and moods and flavors of the month. In fact, every single day has its own flavor, has its own personality, and its own different type of avodah. Like it says in the Zohar, that every single day has its avodah that you have to do. It does its work, it does its job. The idea that they had Mesiras Nefesh throughout the entire year, what does that mean? Well, perhaps this means that everything they did during that year, including every specific day and its avodah, they did it with Mesiras Nefesh. It was permeated with Mesiras Nefesh. Above any limitation. Meaning, we go through different moods during the year. Every person has different ups and downs and different times of more inspiration, less inspiration. There's the summer months and there's the winter months, and all this affects us. And we change. Some people thrive more and they like the long dark nights. Some people like the long bright days. Everyone has their own thing, and we adjust ourselves to those various different things. The fact that they had Mesiras Nefesh for the entire year, what that means is that in spite of what moods or what ups and downs or inspiration or not inspiration, whatever they were going through, Mesiras Nefesh permeated everything. They were always focused on that level for an entire year where the soul was one with Hashem and would not budge. So at any point of the year, if any of them were offered, do you know that if you drop your Yiddishkeit, you'll survive? The decree won't include you. It didn't matter what point of the year it was, whether it was Erev Yom Kippur or whether it was just a Wednesday afternoon. They had Mesiras Nefesh. Even though they had Yom Kippur as Yom Kippur and Wednesday afternoon was a Wednesday afternoon with this different avodah. You're not in the same state at Ne'ilah as you are when you're davening Shacharis in the week. But whatever they were doing it, but it was permeated with Mesiras Nefesh. I'm doing this, and I'm not budging. If Haman wants me to stop davening Shacharis, there's not a chance. If he wants me to eat on Yom Kippur, there's not a chance. Whatever it is, I'm totally devoted to Yiddishkeit, and I'm not giving it up. The Mesiras Nefesh was every person and at every time for an entire year. In the brackets we skipped, The Rebbe compares this to another thing. As it's found in many Maamari Chassidus about the Maila of the Esrog. Out of the 4 minim, the Esrog, what's the Maila of it? The Esrog hu b'chinas Malchus in Yonashel Esther, which Queen Esther is called Malchus as well, which Esrog corresponds to Malchus. The 4 species correspond to the 4 letters of Hashem's name. The Esrog is the Hey, the last Hey of Hashem's name, which is Malchus, which is also Esther. So there's a bit of a connection to the Esrog and Malchus. Shedar bilana mishana l'shana. It says about the Esrog that the Esrog grows throughout an entire year. Most fruits have a certain season where they grow, and then other seasons they don't grow. The Esrog stays all year on a tree, and every season contributes to its growth. They keep going. That's why you find esrogim, they can have huge esrogim. Some, I think the Yemenites use these very, very massive esrogim the size of a watermelon. It's not a different species, it's the same species. Just if you leave it on the tree, it continues to grow. Because it doesn't have a season where it grows and then it stops. It just keeps going. The entire year, every season contributes to the esrog. And so we say that's a mile of an esrog. An esrog takes whatever season it is and grows from it. Continues to grow. It doesn't have its particular time. This is when I serve Hashem, and other times I'm off from serving Hashem. It continues to grow no matter what the season is.
And it's called Malchus. I thought Malchus was very much about like the moon, ups and downs. It seems quite steady.
I don't know how to reconcile that. So this is the Mesiras Nefesh of Kol Hashana. Mesiras Nefesh in all seasons. Okay. So that's what it means, that the king's sleep was disturbed, the king meaning Malchus Shel Olam, the king of the world, that came as a result of the fact that they stood with Mesiras Nefesh for an entire year, Dafka.